Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I am going to be showing you how to use make.com for your workflow automation. Now imagine this: you wake up, check your phone, and your emails are sorted, your leads are saved, your content is scheduled, and your data is organized, all automatically. No manual work, no stress. So today I'm going to be showing you exactly how to automate your entire workflow using make.com step by step, even if you're a complete beginner. Now, before we dive in, quick one. If you want to try make.com yourself, you can use my link down below in the description to get 1 month free and start automating your workflows easily. Now, this video is for you if you're tired of doing repetitive tasks, you want to save hours every week, or you're just getting started with automation. By the end of this guide, you should know how to build your first automation, connect your apps, and create workflows that run on autopilot. Let's get into it. Now, before we start anything, we need to understand what make.com is. Now, make.com is a no-code automation tool that lets you connect apps and automate tasks between them. Now, think of it like this: instead of manually doing a job such as receiving an email, copying the information, pasting into spreadsheets, and then sending a notification, make.com does it all for you automatically. Now, without wasting time, let's get into the video. So to get started on automations, you should get started for free. You should click on this button here if you don't have an account. And if you have one, just go ahead and log in. I am going to be doing that because I already have an account. Then I'll choose continue with Google. And then I'm going to log in. Now, once you log in, you should see your dashboard loading up like this. And then once your dashboard loads up, you should see metrics on the screen that shows you your activity on make.com. Now, for most of you, you are new, so you wouldn't have a lot of information here. So to get started with automations, we need to create our first scenario. Scenarios are also another name for automations. So to create a scenario, we should head over to the scenarios tab on the left hand side. And then I already have an automation running, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on create scenario. For most of you, this place is going to be empty, so just go ahead and click on create scenario, and then you should get this big plus sign, and then you can choose your first app. So the first app is going to be your trigger. This is going to be what makes your automation run under any given set of instructions or conditions. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Gmail, and then for the trigger I'm going to click on watch emails. So basically what I want this automation to do is every single time I receive an email, I want it to perform some sort of task. So you would be greeted by this pop-up, so you'd have to make sure you get your information filled in. And for criteria, I'm going to be changing this from all messages to only unread messages. Now, the point of this is to make sure a new email would always run the automation based on the fact that that email is unread. So instead of going to open your emails by yourself, you can just let make.com do the work for you so far as the email is unopened. Then I'm just going to go ahead and click on save, and then you can choose where to start, choose manually since a specific date, or and from now on. And for the purpose of this tutorial, I am going to be going with from now on. This basically means that from this point moving forward, every single email I receive is going to be checked by the automation. And then I'll just go ahead and click on save, and we're good to go. Now, our next step is to add another module. Now, this module is going to be called our action. So basically, the trigger is Gmail, and then we want the trigger to trigger an action. So to explain it simply, every single time we receive a new email, some sort of action is going to be performed. And for that action, we're going to be using Google Sheets. So just go ahead and click on Google Sheets. If you can't find it, you should just use the search bar. But since it's here, I'm just going to click on it, And then we're going to be using the add row, and then we are going to be making some changes in order for the automation to work. So the only thing I'm going to be changing on this page is the spreadsheet name. And once you click on that, you should find a bunch of folders. And since I named my spreadsheet test edit, I am going to be working with this. Now you'll be prompted to choose a sheet name, and for this tutorial, the name of the sheet is sheet 1. Once you click on that, you would have a few more options, and for this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and enter the values in the columns. So you don't have to follow the exact order, but I am going to be doing it in this order. I am going to choose a sender, so I'm going to click on from an email, a particular email, and then click on that. I'm going to choose the subject as well. I'm going to choose a subject as well for the second column. And then for the final one, which is going to be the third, I am going to be choosing the full text body. And once I've chosen that, I can scroll down and then I can save. And once I save, our automation is now ready. So you can test this yourself by sending yourself an email, and then once you send yourself an email, you would find the automation running, and then your email is going to be saved in the Google Sheets automatically. Now, to test if your automation is running, you can go ahead and click on the Run Once button, and then you can send yourself an email just to check if it is working properly. So I'm just going to do that quickly so you see how it runs. Now, I'm going to send myself an email, which I just did, and then I am going to click on Run Once. And then it's going to take some time to load. So you could just do this a couple of times, but beware that your credits are going to be running each time you perform an action. So now you can find that it just loaded in, and you have seen how it moved from the Gmail to the Google Sheets. And if I head over to my Google Sheets, I would find that I have an email recorded here in my Google Sheets. So that's how your automation is supposed to look like whenever you set it up. And also, if you want this to just run automatically while you're away, you can set the time frame maybe once a week or every single day or 15 minutes as I have here. And once you set that, your automation would run without needing your attention. So like I showed you in the tutorial, your automation would run every single time you receive an email, and it will automatically log into your spreadsheet. So that is how you do your first automation. Also, if you want to try make.com yourself, you can use my link down below in the description to get 1 month free and start automating your workflows easily. Now, let's make your automation smarter. So instead of running for every email, you can add filters. So for example, you can set your automation to only process emails with invoice, that is the word invoice in the subject, or only run when it is from a specific sender. So if you have a client that you're working with, you can set your automation to run every single time that client's email address sends you an email. And also, you can add routers to split workflows, add delays, format and clean your data, and that is where automation becomes powerful. All you need to do is go to the settings and make sure that you make some tweaks according to your taste. Also, if you want to try make.com yourself, you can use my link down below in the description to get 1 month free and start automating your workflows easily. Now, here's the biggest mistake most beginners make. They try to automate everything at once, so don't do that and start small. Automate one repetitive task first and then build from there. That's how you create systems that actually work. So now here's a little bonus. So here's a simple automation you can copy today. You can build a lead capture system. So someone fills a form, their data goes into Google Sheets, they receive a welcome email automatically, and you get notified instantly. This alone can save you hours every week. Now, in summary, here's what we covered: what make.com is and how it works, how to create your first scenario slash automation, how to connect apps like Gmail and Google Sheets, how to use filters and logic, and how to scale with. And that brings us to the end of our video. Also, if you want to try make.com yourself, you can use my link down below in the description to get 1 month free and start automating your workflows easily. If you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, and comment